See, I was out fishing, and when I got back, I stopped at the bar for a drink. The kids come over and told me, and the next thing I know, the police and the dog catcher come rolling in there.
Looked down, saw Lucy was dead, and the dog standing over it.
My dog was hanging, and some kids let him loose.
Now this goose ate a third of a carat diamond out of Sandy's ear.
I seen it dead.
It was our pet. I wouldn't sell my pet. I wouldn't sell my kid.
That's completely unreasonable.
If you want to fight, I can get you boxing gloves, but we're not here for that. My first case ever with worms.
Come here, Sophie. Get him, Rusty.
Can I say something?
No. If she hadn't had an oral agreement, how do you do?
In the case of McCaskill versus Knight for $250, will all parties and witnesses raise your right hands and be sworn? Do you and each of you solemnly swear that the testimony you may give in the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. The Animal Court is now in session. The Honorable Joseph A. Wapner, Judge presiding.
I know you've all been sworn. I have read your complaint. Sir, you're suing the defendant because you claim his dog killed your goose?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And this was in Idaho?
Yes.
Oh, we're going to have fun with this one. Oh.
Hey. Penny.
We'll try it for a few minutes, but if it gets raucous like it is, we might have to take all the animals out. Well, let's try. Where was the goose kept?
The goose was kept in our backyard, which was fenced.
In your backyard?
In our fenced backyard.
Okay. How high is the fence?
6 feet.
Did you see the dog, the defendant's dog, in your yard?
After he killed the goose, I did, yes. Blaze and Brianne Solomon are the two neighbor kids that came running up on our porch and said there was a dog in our yard chasing our goose. And I had just came in from the backyard maybe 10 minutes.
Did you go in the backyard?
Yes, so I walked
Tell me what you saw.
Out onto the back deck, looked down, saw Lucy was dead and the dog standing over it.
Okay. When did you first learn that your dog... Oh, you got to be kidding. Are you going to testify?
This goose?
No, you.
He's already testifying.
I don't want to laugh out loud. I'm sure tempted. I want to know if you're going to testify, ma'am.
Yeah.
You are. Then let's have you testify, because you may be walking out of here very quickly, shortly. Did you see it?
I seen it dead.
You saw it dead. Where was it when it was dead?
Laying on the fence.
What?
Laying against the fence.
Inside the yard or outside?
Inside the yard.
Where was the dog?
Next to it, sniffing the duck food.
When did either of you first notify the defendant that this had happened?
Immediately.
Well, I went to his home, what I believe to be his home. We took the dog back to where he keeps it.
Now you can take the goose. You can take the goose out.
Yes.
As I understand, Mr. Knight has kept these dogs at a house about a block away from us, but he doesn't live there. The neighbor boy took the dog back, tied it up. I went to try and find Mr. Knight. Went to where the police officer told me he lived. Fellow there said he was at the local bar. I thought it best that at that point I not go any further. I said I told the fellow there that I'd...
Did you eventually see him?
Never, not until... The only time I've seen him in my life was a couple days ago. He stood out.
Did you write him a letter and tell him that...
We talked to the lady, the fellow where he lives, and I said, I need to talk to Mr. Knight. His dog killed my goose.
What kind of dog is it, sir?
It's a blue tick.
What?
A blue tick.
Blue tick.
It's a hunting dog.
Hunting dog.
Yeah.
Do you own him?
Huh? Yeah.
Where did you keep him?
I keep him over at my friend's house.
Who's your
behind
friend?
My brother's. Mary.
Did you know that your dog got out and killed this goose?
No, I didn't until the kids come over and told me about it.
Okay.
See, I was out fishing, and when I got back, I stopped at the bar for a drink. I wasn't there all day. The kids come over and told me, and the next thing I know, the police and the dog catcher come rolling in there, dragging me out of the bar. You know, I told them I didn't know what was going on. They said, well, your dog killed the goose. And the kids said that the dog had jumped over the fence he stays in with a steel cable, and he was hanging. So they unhooked him to get him loose. And the kids were little kids, and they couldn't hang on to her when she bolted loose from them.
Okay. But you realize it's your responsibility, sir?
Yeah, I did.
Your Honor, I have a tape here, and I also have 4 copies of all the citations that in the last month, Mr. Knight has been cited 4 times for dog running at large.
Okay.
And I'd like to, at this time, amend my complaint to $2,500.
What's the basis of your amending the complaint to
Of
20?
the grief that he's caused us with his callous disregard for the rules and regulations.
You have any objection to his amending the complaint?
Yes, I do. My dog was hanging, and some kids let him loose.
Sir, I'm only asking you if you want him, if you object to his filing a countersuit, amending his complaint to, instead of asking for $250, to ask for $2,500.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Motion is denied.
I have some, and then here's some pictures also.
Okay. See the tape?
This is to show the fence at the extent we went to protect these animals.
They go
And
right under.
How high is the
big
fence?
6 feet, 5.5 feet, I believe it is. And the one in the ditch is Lucy,
That's the one that was
killed.
killed. What was the fair market value of it?
Well, it's hard to say.
What'd you pay for it?
I believe it was $7.50. We've had that goose 17 years,
Okay. What was the life expectancy?
25 years. Also,
If you go to sell a 17-year-old goose, what could you get for it on an open market?
well, it depends. Now, this goose ate a 30 of a carat diamond out of Sandy's ear. And when that happened, we called the vet.
Well, you're not asking for that, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. That
Wouldn't be his responsibility.
No, that wouldn't. That
Wouldn't
was
be
ours.
foreseeable that there was going to be a diamond ring in the goose's
That's
belly.
correct.
Did you have the goose?
Cremated.
You had it cremated. Well, did you cut open the goose before it was cremated to get
No.
the diamond?
Sandy wouldn't allow that. And they said if the diamond was still there, and we had the goose x-rayed, the diamond was in the craw. But we don't know that the diamond, when we had Lucy x-ray or cremated, that there was no diamond. So it probably passed. This was 7 years ago.
7 years ago. Well,
But it was
I'm
a
glad
very-
you're not suing him for that.
No, we're not.
Wouldn't make much sense, would
No,
it?
it wouldn't.
Okay. Let's go back to my other question. What could you sell a 17-year-old goose for, even if with or without a diamond? Forget the diamond.
Your Honor, I have no idea. I wouldn't. It was our pet. I wouldn't sell my pet. I wouldn't sell my kid.
I understand that.
I think that's why.
I can only give you the fair market value of it. You're asking for $250. Where'd you get the figure?
Well, mainly it was the cost of the filing, and I just
The
felt
filing
like,
you're going to get, sir,
Oh, I
if
see.
you win the lawsuit.
well, and the hassle and the taking time off of work to go do all of this.
Not,
and I just feel
not recoverable,
okay,
sir.
all right. And I just felt that the 4 tickets this fella got didn't do a thing to him. So is this just going to continue on?
Giving a money judgment against him may not do anything for him either.
And I agree.
Your Honor, we
Yes,
still
ma'am.
have animals.
Pardon?
We still have animals.
You
We still have a goose.
And the dog is still a risk to our other animals.
I can't anticipate that the dog might kill another goose, ma'am. You're not suing for that either.
No.
You have any idea the fair market value of the goose that was killed?
Well, probably $50 stuffed.
50? Okay. You have any idea the value of a goose?
I wouldn't get more than 15 for it. Not being that old would be too tough if I was going to use it for anything.
Okay. Take a short recess. I'll come back and give you my decision.
a noise, kind of like barking and rustling around, and then the cat screeched.
He told me that he was looking for dogs that he was chasing on the street.
The spine was broken, lungs were punctured, the heart was punctured, the ribs were broke.
They got out because I went in the backyard to get my skateboard and my hockey stick.
I said, well, you need to leave my property, then I'm gonna call the cops on you, and I slammed the door in his face.
Remain seated and come to order. This court is again in session.
The liability is very clear in this case. In spite of what you have to say, I'm talking to the Goose now.
Thank you.
We have a violation of the off-leash law. We have a violation of trespass by an animal. And the owner is responsible for both. I can't give you any punitive damages for this, sir. Can't punish him in this case. The only thing I can do is give a money judgment. I did talk about fair market value, and I realize that there isn't much of a market for this kind of an animal, but the owner is entitled to give a personal value, and that's what objection is overruled. You can give a personal value as to the Goose, and that's what you've stated in your complaint at $250. So my judgment is for plaintiff for $250.
I keep them on cables in the fence. And when I go fishing, Penny has this habit. She climbs the fence and then she'll be hanging. And some little kid will see it and come over there and break her loose.
Maybe you ought to take the dog
Yeah.
fishing with you.
Yeah, I should.
Well, what had happened is it went under the fence where in this winter it settled down.
Well, I feel bad about it. It happened. But like I said, I wasn't there. I was fishing, and he was hanging over the fence, and some kids seen it, and they tried to save her. But the kids were too small to hang on to her, and she broke loose. She's only 8 months old, and she's hyper. So she's going to take off. She ain't going to just stand there. She wants to run. She's always caged. And she got her break when the kids loosened her off that fence. I've shortened the chain as much as I can shorten it.
I think
know
you
she ain't
could
going over.
get rid of the dogs or move them out of town. See, the dogs don't even stay where he lives. So.
The Animal Court is now in session. The Honorable Joseph A. Wapner, Judge presiding.
I know you've all been sworn. I have read your complaint, sir. You claim that the defendant's dogs killed your cat?
Correct.
When did this happen, sir?
That was November 2nd of last year.
And where?
I was on my front porch.
And that's where your cat was?
Right.
How many dogs were there?
It was the three dogs that are here.
Okay. What kind of dogs are those, sir?
This one's a half Chow and half German Shepherd. This one's a Labrador, and that one's part Labrador.
Okay. Were the dogs on a leash?
No.
Was anyone with the dogs?
No.
They were completely out of control?
Yeah.
Right. Explain what happened, sir.
What had happened is we heard a noise, kind of like barking and rustling around, and then the cat screeched. I came out of the front door. The brown-colored, light-colored dog there had her in its mouth shaking, and the other dogs were more like caught up in it. One had her by the head, one had her by the back. They were shaking the dogs. I yelled and kicked at the gray one, or the light-colored one here. It finally dropped the cat. At that point, they pretty much just hung around the front yard, put the cat on the porch, and at that time, my fiancée, Susie, had pulled up. She actually saw the dogs as well, and I took the keys from her and actually chased the dogs, and they ran directly back to his house.
Was anyone there?
Yes, he was standing out in the front yard, as well as one of his neighbors, who I don't know who it was. I asked if they were his dogs, the neighbor, and he told me no, it was the next door. I confronted Mr. Myers. He said yes, they were his dogs, and asked what they had done. I told him that they had attacked and killed the cat, and at that point he was pretty cordial about it. Said he would take care of anything and we'd deal with it. We went back. The cat was in pretty bad shape. Took her to the emergency.
You said he killed the cat. The cat.
Well, it didn't die right away. We had to euthanize it the next day because of vet's recommendation. The spine was broken, lungs were punctured, the heart was punctured, the ribs were broke. And there was such severe damage in the back. He said even if it was repaired, she'd probably never walk and more than likely have
What kind
the
of a
urinary
cat was it,
tract.
sir?
It's just a domestic short hair.
What did you pay for it, if anything?
$80, somewhere in there.
Was it worth more than $80 when it
Oh,
died?
absolutely. It's a family pet.
Well, I understand that
But I mean, no,
that
as
part
far
of
as
it.
a
If
physical,
the fair market value, if you were to go to sell the cat,
it's $80.
no, that's it. Okay. How much your vet bill?
The vet bills. The first one was $530. The second one was $85. That's listed on that. And here's the estimates. The first estimate, and then all the procedures that were done. It'd be a little hard to read doctor's writing.
Is the total then $615, sir?
$615, correct.
Okay. You drove up just after this happened?
No, I was already there.
You were already there?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my
I'm
fiance's
not
daughter.
his fiance. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I thought you confused me.
Yeah, we'd be on a different court, I think.
Is what he described pretty much what you saw?
Yes.
Sir, did he come up and confront you with this?
Yes, he did. He told me that he was looking for dogs that he was chasing on the street. That he said he saw my dogs and he was chasing them down, but there's other dogs that were also around the neighborhood.
You recognize these dogs?
Yes, I do.
You think those were the dogs that attacked?
Yes, I do.
Any doubt in your mind?
No.
What are you here to tell me?
Go first.
How old are you?
13.
Okay. You know these dogs?
Yes. They're my dogs.
You know anything about what happened here?
My dogs only got out around our street. So,
They got out?
yeah, they got out because I went in the backyard to get my skateboard and my hockey sticks.
You let them out?
Yes, I let them out because I left the gate open.
Did you know where they went?
They went like halfway down our street, and they got probably down to where the crossing streets. And then I ran down there when I heard barking, and I caught him. I brought him to the house, and just as I was bringing him to the house,
Did you look at their mouths,
parents were-
especially this brown one? Any blood in his mouth?
no blood at all. They were just normal.
And let me hear the gentleman back there. Do you know anything about this, sir?
Yeah, I was doing some yard work there, and I ran out of cigarettes, and I started to walk down the store to get some. I wasn't away from the house more than 15, 20 minutes, and I spotted the dogs coming back towards me 4 blocks in the opposite direction, from where this man lives. I chased them back to the house, down the street anyway. I got them going back down the street.
Okay.
And I checked them when I got there. I didn't see any blood or scratches or anything.
What are your other damages, sir?
I tried to break down, took the yearly salary, went with a net, figured up the hourly.
What's your?
It came
Were
out
you
to
docked at work?
It came out at $73 an hour. Yeah, I was at the veterinary's office the entire day the following day.
1 day's work?
Yeah.
How much is that?
Well, it was $73 an hour, so it's approximately $650.
Were you paid that $650 for work, or they dock you?
No, that's what I averaged on the salary for the year. That's how I figured up the amount
I want to
of
know
time
if you
that was
were
lost.
docked.
No, I wasn't docked. It's my company.
It's your own company.
Right.
So you couldn't dock. You didn't dock yourself.
Well, no, but it's
All right, other than
it's
that,
lost
what-
wages for me.
Pardon me?
It's lost wages for me because I was not there doing my work. So.
Did you pay anyone else to do your work?
No, I had no income for that day.
Anything else you want to tell me?
Yeah, he came back with a medical bill, and he knocked on my front door with his wife. And he comes up to my door, he knocks on my door, and he says, I got medical bills. I said, well, could I see him? He said, no. I said, well, you need to leave my property, then I'm going to call the cops on you. And I slammed the door in his face because he did not want to show me the medical bills.
There are other ways to do things that are a little bit nicer, sir, that might be more effective than slamming a door in someone's face. You might think about that.
Yeah.
Take a short recess. I'll come back, give you my decision.
Remain seated and come to order. This court is again in session.
If we are to believe what the plaintiff says and his fiance's daughter, then there are two violations here. One is a violation of the leash law, and the other is trespass to the land by the defendant's animals. I think that that's relatively clear. I think the defendant's dogs were the dogs that killed the plaintiff's cat. As to damages, you're entitled to the vet bills, $615. You're entitled to the fair market value of the cat, which is put at $80. You did not lose any money at work because you didn't hire anyone to do your work. You're the owner of the company. So there's nothing for loss of earnings. Judgment is for plaintiff for $695.
The cat shouldn't be out of the house anyways. Just like my dog shouldn't have been out of the yard.
It wasn't necessarily the money. It was more like to show him that you got to be responsible for your pet's actions.
First, he couldn't even identify the dogs, and when we pulled in behind him, he was looking for the dogs.
He said, "Oh, it was this one? It was that one? No, it was this one? It was that one?"
Him up, he didn't even know which
He didn't even know which one it
but he
was.
was there when it happened.
They're afraid of everything. They're afraid of a lot more of the vacuum.
See this one? This one here?
Okay, they're afraid of squirrels. They blow
Used to
at the
live with my
door,
mom.
my back window.
This one here used to live with my mom, and my mom has like 2 cats. This one loves cats. This one is afraid of cats, and this one we got from a friend. Would possibly do it, but this one lives with my mom's cats, and she loves cats. This one's afraid of cats.